Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Narcissists, Shamanic Leadership Guide and Transformational Coach at Intermarriage, where we help folks overcome the trauma-informed basis of their limited self-beliefs so they can take inspired action to live resonant lives right here, right now. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to break the spells of narcissists, bullies, and hidden covens. How to break these spells and become sovereign. And this conversation is something that is not often talked about, but what we are going to do is step into a reality most sense intuitively, but few have the courage to validate consciously. And what we actually unveiling is what spells are, why narcissists, bullies, and hidden covens cast them, how spells work on a neurological, psychological, and energetic level, and more importantly, how you, the empath, can break every last cell and reclaim your power. So this is about getting to the truth so we can reclaim ourselves. So it's important to start with the definition and expatiate on what a spell is. And this would ground us for the rest of the video. A spell is any energetic or psychological manipulation designed to hijack your free will, distort your perception, and reroute your life force toward the agenda of another being or group. It's important I say this again. A spell is any energetic or psychological manipulation designed to hijack your free will, distort your perception, and reroute your life force towards the agenda of another being or group. Now, contrary to popular belief and what's out there, spells are not just dusty portions or whispered incantations. Hey Siri, alarm off. Confirmation. Yeah, they are deliberate reprogramming of the human mind and nervous system through emotional triggers, repeated suggestions, trauma implantation, ritual behaviors, and social mimicry. What's the evidence of this from a scientific perspective? Well, from a neuroscientific perspective, neuroplasticity shows that repeated emotional experiences create deep grooves in the brain, making it the emotional pattern automatically. And neuroplasticity is basically the notion that the brain can establish new neural networks based on new patterns established. Secondly, trauma studies demonstrate how chronic exposure to manipulation leads to dissociation, learned helplessness, and submission, which is the very signature of a successful spell. And we know historically that, for example, in the ancient Egypt, the Heka magic, spells are encoded or were encoded into speech and vibration to manipulate physical reality. We also know from historical perspectives in the Middle Ages, during the witch trials, mass psychological spells were cast by churches to control populations through fear. And in the modern era, the great Edward Bernays, the sort of founder of the public relations industry, weaponized Freud's theories to spellbind masses into consumerism. You remember the ad of doctors in their white lab coats standing on the corner drinking Coca-Cola. At the turn of the century, in the 1910s or 20s, this is 30s even, this is an effective way to say, if the doctors are drinking Coke, it must be healthy. In the same way the old ads had a beautiful woman smoking a cigarette, or the Marlboro Man. These were all examples of spells, right? So from an esoteric perspective, we know in Hermetic traditions, everything operates under the law of correspondence in Hermeticism, or the Kabbalion, meaning as above, so below. So spells alter your inner landscape to match an external agenda if you are unconscious. So the question would be, why are spells cast? And the spells are really cast for a simple reason. Primarily one reason. There may be others, but primarily one reason, and that's to harvest. Harvest what? Your time, your energy, your emotions, your creativity, your life force and energy, and so forth. And the spellcaster's objectives, if it's a narcissist, for example, is to enslave your emotional attention that they must be worshipped to exist. And bullies seek to harvest your fear because fear grants them the illusion of power. And in Covens, whether they're social cliques or organizations or ideological groups, they seek to extract your loyalty and your spirit's creative charge. You see the game? What's the proof of this? Well, studies in behavioral economics confirm that scarcity creates manipulation. So when people feel emotionally deprived, they are exponentially easier to manipulate. And what's the esoteric corollary of this? Well, once again, borrowing from ancient Kemet or Egypt, the principle of vibration states that whoever controls your vibratory frequency controls your reality projection. Thus, spells, as a result, are vibrational, even spiritual warfare. So the question becomes, all right, got it, but what's the purpose of these spells? Well, the fundamental purpose of casting spells is not neutral. It's not neutral at all. It is malignant. And it's because spells are used to collapse your own self-sovereignty, rewrite your internal operating system, change everything, induce emotional confusion and dependency through gaslighting and lying, and prevent authentic self-realization. What's the purpose of these spells in psychological terms? Well, spellcasting aims to create learned helplessness. And this is a phenomenon discovered long ago where individuals stop trying to escape even when escape is possible. Learned helplessness. And what's the utility of this in spiritual terms? Well, in spiritual terms, spellcasting locks an empath into an artificial karmic contract. Often one that the empath did not consciously, or you did not consciously agree to, draining your life force until you wake up and break free. It's as simple as that, right? So the question becomes, what is the state of mind of the spellcaster? And it's important to realize that you must never envy the spellcaster, because behind the mask of power lies a shattered consciousness. And some of the core traits of these spellcasters are they have a deep scarcity and void of creative force. They do. They have crippling self-hatred that they project onto others. Remember the quote from Carl Jung, that whatever shadows you refuse to acknowledge within yourself, you project onto others. Then they have an addiction to external control as a replacement for internal unhappiness or emptiness. So in a study in 2013, it's an older study, but still relevant. This is a study in brain imaging. They found that narcissists exhibit dysfunctional anterior insular activation, meaning that they have a low capacity for genuine self-regulation, empathy, and reflection. And then esoterically, in spiritual traditions, spellcasters are described as beings trapped in lower astral frequencies, low vibrational frequencies, demons, where fear, rage, envy, and competition are the currency of existence. So why are empaths targeted? Simple. Empaths are magnetic to spellcasters for one primary reason. You are the source they cannot be. The source. This is because you generate authentic emotional resonance. You vibrate naturally toward freedom and compassion, and you threaten their survival by parasitism simply because you exist. And the tactics they use, we know it: love bombing, projection, and guilt spells. So we know in attachment theory, it shows that individuals with disorganized attachment styles are more vulnerable to trauma bonds, which is a major tool in spellware. So how do you break the spell? Well, firstly, awareness. Name it ruthlessly. This is manipulation, not love, for example. And the naming collapses the energetic invisibility cloaking the spell. It's very key. Then reclaim your sovereign narrative, which is, instead of agreeing to what you've been told, I'm not enough and so forth, you have to say things like, I am the living proof of resilience. My beingness bends reality in my favor. Because this is a practice in becoming neuroplastic, making your brain neuroplastic. And of course, energetic cord cutting is very key. We're cutting these cords connected to you energetically by saying things like, I call back my energy across all timelines, realities, and dimensions. I am whole. I am sovereign. I am free. And reclaim your body and go through this process of spiritual physics where you create something daily, you meditate daily, and you speak truth aloud daily. And in doing so, from a quantum physics standpoint, that you create a coherent energetic field that overrides anything that's incoherent. You become the dominant energetic blueprint. This is how it works. If any of this resonates with you, type transform in the comment section and let me know if you're serious about shifting, and book a free session so we can connect on this. But I want to end by saying that you were never meant to live untrapped. You were forged to outshine entire empires of illusion. You're not a victim of spells. You are the proof that spells shatter under the gaze of an awakened soul. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to type transform and keep shining and waking up.